Hello everyone, good evening. Today is October 25th. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings, guys. So before I start, I just want to say one thing. This is probably who have watched my videos before. This is one of similar videos that I have done before. What I would like to say is all those who have been following my teachings are in my community or my followers or YouTube. On days like today, they are always with the trend. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is getting bagged, especially a day trader, trying to buy the dip against the trend, because everyone and each one of you knows what the trend for the day is, because I provide those system day in day out, be it in my community, be it here on the YouTube or on Twitter, right? Because we know the trend, and that's how we nail it days like today. Because you go anywhere, you go any other community, everybody's trying to sell you alerts or something like that, because you don't know, you don't know what is the personality of the day. You need to know personality of the day. Only then you can be a successful day trader, especially in the large caps. Of course, in the small caps too, you need to know the theme of the day. What is the theme? So anyways, guys, that was my point. So let's kick off. Amazing day again today. Amazing day. A lot to cover, but like yesterday, you have all the chapters. Whichever chapter you're interested in, you can move forward. I have all the time-stamped trade recaps, time-stamped comments, my alerts, which are basically my guidance in the community. You can forward and have a look at it. So we'll talk about the levels, how our levels were not again flawless today. I will talk about that. We'll talk about SPY, QQQ all day fade, how we faded SPY and QQQ in the morning, how we faded SPY, QQQ later in the day, and we were short. Google all day short, beautiful trade. We'll talk about Snap, why Snap $10 was important. We'll talk about Microsoft gap fill trade, AFRM, how was it a short all day. Square and PayPal, how did we catch them? How did we catch Square PayPal for a beautiful short? Meta, before the earnings, what was happening with Meta? We'll talk about AMD, Boeing, and Visa. And then at the end, we will discuss what is next for tomorrow. Is it time to buy, or is it just still time to short? If you're a day trader, what can be planned for tomorrow? Anyways, guys, I'm going to start it. Another thing, if you join the community, there's a discount code up there or in the description. You can come trade with us. Best educational community you will find, where I am live all day. All right, let's start it. So as you guys know, I build a watch list every day. I go through all news plays in the morning, and this was my watch list for today. So I'm just gonna go through them and we'll talk about some levels. So this was my watch list. These were the news plays, market indicators, market plays, low floaters. And each news play is based upon the news that I share in the community, that I go through every day. Based upon that, I have my watch list. And as you see, I personally was played Google, Square, and PayPal, and QQQ. Those were my main trades today. But in the community, I still guided on AFRM. I don't think we touched T-Doc, Boeing, and DB. So a bunch of those. And TXN was a scratch. I'll talk about that as well. So let's first look at our levels. So guys, here are the levels. I want you to look at these levels very carefully. I can tell you right away, SPY today, when this pivot broke 421.50, these 422 puts went 100% today. QQQ, when the support broke, the 357 puts went 100 to 300%. Right? Similarly, I would like to talk about the Google. This was the support pivot. I will show you in a minute when we go in depth into it. But when this pivot broke, and I'd show you how I make these levels, and this 130 put went over 80% for us, right? So an AMD level was so defined level. It was 100 and 150. AMD hit 95 under that. AMD was 150% on this 101 puts. So that's why you spend time pre-market to create your levels. I create these levels for my community every day. These are not to just take and do blind alerts. This is guidance for you, because a day like today, when it's all bearish, You know it's heavy market out of the gate. You know how the support pivot would work. Once it breaks, you can flush more and you can trade using these levels for your conviction, right? So that's why the levels are very important. Just go back, go to the drawing board, see how these levels worked out, and try to learn that how you can use these levels yourself and make these levels yourself. All right, so let's move on to our trades now. So I want you to look very carefully on my comments. Although I am on voice, so I do 60-70% things on a voice, so you won't see them here. But if you see, what did I say? Right out of the gate, short scalps, watch yesterday lows. What do I mean by that? I mean that next target is yesterday lows. If that breaks, we go much lower. First target 420.50, target 1, 420.50. Then it hits the first target. Then we cover into 10 a.m. Hold some more into 10 a.m. as per our rules. Then 420 target. 420 targets keep failing. 419 next target. Then I was left with 1/4 coming to our next target, which was 419.35. And look where it bounced, right around that area, 419.20, right? And that was our initial, initial target that met. Right? So that was the morning trade on SPY QQ, but we were still not done, right? Market full on bearish. That was in the middle of the day, mid-noon. I said hold your puts, because once it bounced, right? Once SPY bounced, it still hit the 34.50 and it's failed, right? So you can always add back, and this support becomes a resistance. This support becomes a resistance, and then it hits that, and then it fades further. I said do not long. I was giving that warning today, do not long any tech name, right? So this is what I'm talking about. You need to know the market. What is the market trend? If you are a short, they are high probability. If you are long in a bearish market, they are low probability, right? So guess what? Do not long. And I was like, more lows, log some SPY. I added, let me show you that. So if you see my comments, 1242, when VIX hit over 20, again, it's my VIX SPY strategy. You have to learn that. Go to my other videos. I'll put it in the description. You can learn my VIX SPY strategy. I added more into my shorts on that breakout. At time was 1242 right here. You see this breakdown? That's the pattern you need to learn. As soon as that breaks down, we fade more, and then we fade all day into 417. From this 419 breakout, another easy 30-40% trade on the options or on the shares, right? So that was the guidance, guys. That was the all day short guidance. No, nothing magical. We just play the system, the patterns, the system, the price action. So that's what you have to focus on. Once you learn that, then you understand your execution. So you size small just to figure out how you will execute. Don't try to keep making money. Money will come, but try to understand the system that I'm showing you, right? So same thing as QQQ, all day fade on SPY and QQQ. So this was the all day guidance. As you see, if you see the morning plan on VIX was simple again. So let's look at that. Let's look at morning plan for VIX. What was the plan? VIX plan is simple. Over 19, over under. Bullish and bearish. Means under 19, bullish, over bearish. VIX was all day over 19. Right? And check other VIX levels too. So that's why we were short all day. So whole community was green, short on SPY QQQ. I just told you the SPY options went 100 to 200%. QQQ some options went 100 to 300%. And that's how you grow your small accounts, guys. So this was SPY QQQ trade. Let's move to our next trade. Before I move to the other trades, one thing I want to tell everyone, if you want to learn this VIX strategy, right? So how we nailed the bearish buy. So you go to my website. You go to ripstereducation.com, my education website, and you go to SPY and VIX trades, and you read the SPY VIX rules, and then you go through the details, how I explain it, and then you see all the examples of how SPY and VIX I traded over the years, and this is years worth of examples, right? So you will learn a lot how I traded SPY and VIX over the years, how I taught people trade SPY, VIX, SPX over the years. So just a quick break there to tell you guys, go watch this strategy, right? Of course, it's only one of the different tools that we use, but it's really helpful staying with the bearish bias. All right, so let's talk about Google, our biggest short of the day. So as you guys know, yesterday we had earnings on Google and we bought this 130 area for the bounce, and it was giving us decent bounces to 133. But this morning, I clearly said, do not long if the pre-market lows break down. And what happened? The pre-market does break down, and right away we were short. Starter right away 931 was short Google. We short the Google. I was in shares, easier to get in the shares for the Google short, and then I said only short the pops, right? And then target, what was my target? Right in the morning I said 125 is my target. We covered first in 126. It was slowly going to a target. It bounced off. I think the lows was 125.35, but that was a quick bounce, and then it bounced. Then we added more, and then let it work out. We were covering on the dips, but then it started to go sideways, and people were asking me, Rip, you still short, still short? And I keep telling them, as long trend is there, you hold, right? Have a level of risk. I had my level of risk here. I would have covered, closed if it hit there, but I still had my position, right? I told people in the middle of the day, I still have small, but if you see higher lows, low can step away. But guess what? Then we broke down. End of the day, you saw how the market failed. I just showed you the complete recap of our market fail trades, and then you hold your short when market is failing, and then we hit our targets at 125s again. And again, morning ads cover, re-ads cover, hold ads cover. 125 target met, we were out. Too bad, I could have held it over, but that's fine. Usually I hold some lotos or some profit in long for overnights, but that was fine. Good trade. You can see clear guidance here, timestamp guidance. Everybody was good and we were green. I'm so proud of this Google trade. Worked flawlessly, just as per the setup, as per the repeatable setup that we repeat day in, day out. All right, let's go now to Snap. All right, so what was the plan on Snap? Snap was kind of choppy. It was really a choppy in the pre-market, right? You could see some levels at 950, 970, and it was all about the 10 level, right? So I said if 10 holds, you can hold, right? It is a small range. The ATR is barely 50 cents, but it pushed. The amateur moved, pulled back, right? So it pushed, amateur move, and it pulled back. Then I said, do not add under 10. I don't like this wick. Keep failing. So then I said, no use touching it because I don't like that wick. If it keeps failing, we will short scalp it. Otherwise, leave it alone. I did not trade it, but if you see, the short scalp idea versus 10 kind of worked flawlessly, right? You start a short when 10 keeps failing, add more under EMA clouds, let it break all the levels, let it break the pre-market level, and you fade. You even risk here 10, 20 cents and you make 60, 70 cents, right? So that was the trade on Snap. Not my personal trade, but that was my guidance, that was my teaching. So that was Snap. All right, let's look at Microsoft now, right? So Microsoft, maybe I can show you this chart where I had my Fibonacci's. Yeah, let me show you here. So what was my plan, right? You can read here. Hopefully you can. Maybe I can zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so Microsoft before the pre-market, it was bullish to neutral, right? Because it was over the EMA clouds, it was all over the pre-market highs. I wanted to see what it's going to do. It had some relative strength, but the market was weak. When market is weak, it's hard for Microsoft. If it was a bullish market, everything was long. Yes, Microsoft could have rallied, broke out of pre-market highs. We could have longed it, but market was weak. So you have to look at the entire market. So some people were short. So I said, if you are already short, I was waiting, but if you are already short, it's a B minus. Risk should be 346.50. This area should be your risk. You know, you need EMA Cloud to break for the short to work. Then I was looking at it was failing few times. Then I took a short. Then as soon as the EMA broke down, and then I added more short, and then I said if we break 341, we go to 338. That was the target. And then finally it kept going into the gap fill, you know, and hit 330. Look at my target, what I gave in the morning for all just 50 minutes out of the market open. I was giving this target, and then look, we met that target. And what was it? It was a 50% retracement Fibonacci, right? So it was 50% retracement Fibonacci trade on Microsoft. Just a flawless trade. So and then finally when it got over 512 over EMA clouds, we were out. But Microsoft really worked out some nice trade for us today. Beautiful short, the options, puts, everything. There was kind of a lot of people were stuck short when the CB options went offline, but luckily it didn't bounce too much, and everybody was able to get out green. So beautiful trade on Microsoft, you know, the short for almost $4. All right, guys, let's look next one. All right, guys, let's look at AFRM. So what was my guidance pre-market, and what happened on AFRM? So AFRM, I didn't really have any plan, except I had a bearish bias because I wanted to see more volume. So as soon as market opened, it broke the pre-market lows. Look at that, broke the pre-market lows. And then on the voice, I said it's heavy. It's a short, and that's why I continue to mention that still heavy from PM low break, pre-market low break. I said short the pops to 18, right? So I said that 20 minutes after the open, the shorts the pops toward 18. This is your resistance, and this is where you short. And then I continue talking about it's still heavy from earlier mentions on the nice short scalp, and then it faded all day. They were trying to hold 17, but it was still heavy, and I said move the stops break even. And look at end of the day, AFRM gave 16. Just a stress-free trade, guys. All day, all you had to do was hold as long as Ripster EMA clouds hold. That simple it was. And this is why I want to, you know, I don't do hindsight things. I want to show you what the buy system is beforehand, and then what happens afterwards. All right, let's now look at Square and PayPal. So let's look at Square first. So Square plan was simple, guys. Bearish bias on pops, you know, just do not chase. That's what I said. And after that, it was all the play, breaking under the pre-market lows and fading. You know, I was talking about, then it was just to focus on our targets. And I gave the 42 first target once it broke down. So 42 was my first target. Then my next levels was 41.50, 41.30. Look exactly where it made its low. 41.30, and that was 10.20, guys. And it made it low at, you know, 10.30. See? So that was from previous levels. That's how I found that level, right? So Square met all our levels short. PayPal, same, right? So PayPal, so my target on PayPal was 50.91 was my first target. Yeah, I was short by it by, you know, by 30 cents. But again, short, heavy, same thing I said in 15 minutes into market open. Great idea, worked flawlessly. That's why you make good on such days. That's why you execute. So as you see, PayPal was as well. PayPal was also the same short setup. So that's why I put them together. So that was PayPal, guys, same setup. What I was saying was these are the days where you make most. You make the most, right? So you stick with the trend as long as the trend is, right? Pre-market low breakdown, ride the 512, because you don't get these high range days every day. So once you get these days, you make good. Doesn't matter tomorrow is tough, bad, chop, or whatever. These are the days you make sure you make more. All right, let's move to next. There was nothing much in DB. It's a stock with 20-cent ATR, so nothing really that we could have traded much there. But if someone was trading, it did hold. It did hold its trend and pushed over the pre-market breakout for another 10 cents. So just something wanted, nothing much there. But there are still stocks who trade like these, not worth in the trading with 10-20 cents. But I guess somebody still likes it, so I just want to show it. All right, let's check the next one. So let's look at Meta. So we traded Meta right out of the gate. It was very heavy, maybe because of Snap earnings. I don't know. Meta was really heavy out of the gate. And our target on the short, I was on the voice. I gave some levels on Meta pre-market, and the target on the voice was 302. I said let's cover some at 302 and leave rest for 303. I can show you it in 2 minutes, or maybe let's use 3 minutes, right? So that you can see what was happening in the market open. So as you can see, the 311 was the highs. Let's look at what was my Meta level I gave in the pre-market. The level I gave was 308 and 306. So 308 was kind of a main level, so let's go there. So I mean, there's even in 3 minutes the same thing, so just stick to the 10 minutes. So if we see on 10 minutes, so the flush, and I was on the voice, I was giving the targets that we can show to, so you can see my commentary on side there. So we were shorting to 302. Then I said, then what I was saying was it's going to pop, right? Of course, a big move at the open, definitely it's going to pop. It was going towards 300 psych. And then it goes to 300, 308. It never reclaimed, never got a candle open close over 308, never reclaimed 512 EMA clouds. And this support from pre-market was kind of its resistance, right? So you see it trying to go, but it's never reclaimed, right? So then again, then it was rejected. I was talking about beautiful second move, never got over 3450 cloud. I was still waiting for my 302 target, and then we can do, get all day fade after that. And then finally it hit, you can see, right? So it went from 308 300, and that's where I said that 300 is the level, psych level, covered my short. So nice morning trade, rehit from 308 resistance, risk over EMA clouds, nice fade on Meta, and then after earnings, it just went crazy, right? I don't play earnings, I don't gamble earnings, I play afterwards, but I was done for the day, so I didn't do much. But yes, you can see, now it's all about 300. If Meta stays under 300, it's bearish, so it's not gonna do much. Let's look at the next one. So TXN, I wanted to short it. It was a bearish for me, TXN, but it started to push right before the market opened. So then I had to cut, I had to scratch that idea, because it was bearish. Before market open, it turned bullish. I don't short when it's over the EMA clouds. I don't need to. That's against my system. Yeah, I guess even if I had shorted on a gap fill, I could have made some on this pullback from 143s to 140s, but I didn't need to, so I scratched it. So I said wait on bearish buys. It moved over EMA clouds. I said right at open it had turned bullish, so just leave it. So that was a TXN Scratch. Let's look at AMD. So AMD levels were clear. 100 is a support pivot, under bearish EMA clouds, you short it, and AMD just went crazy, right? So this was not my personal trade, but a lot of people were short on AMD, but still it just kept fading, and I said do not buy it. Even at the close, I was saying do not buy it. It's still heavy, so there's no need to buy this AMD. If you think it's dropping, it could drop more. And AMD really traded 153% of its ATR today. So it was a big range on AMD. So the options definitely made a good one. So there were some other trades. Boeing was one which I wanted to short it out of when it was kind of, I wanted to short it. So I said at 952 I want to short it once it bounces into 184 resistance. And once it failed, you see the failure here, 952, it was failing. So I wanted to short the bounce. I did short it, but I did guide people in the community. Let me show you guys what I was saying so you guys can get an idea. So yeah, so this is what I said on BA. Just short the pops. If breaks 183, good flush, lower, let it confirm, right? So 183 was the flush confirmation, and that's it. Once it pushed higher, right? Short on the pops, pushed higher, break EM 183, reshort, and then fade it. So that was BA. There were some trades on Visa. Visa was, I was talking about Visa this morning. Visa was strong, and I saw this pullback at 233. I mentioned 233 worth a try, and then it pushed higher. So Visa was okay, decent. So just wanted to cover a little bit on Visa and Boeing. So you see there are a lot of opportunities in the community today, and it's which one you take, that's what all matters. Yeah, there are some other setups. This was a low volume setup. I wanted to short it on the pop. Never really gave me a pop. It was VICR. Never really gave me a pop. I was watching CSGP. Never really gave me a setup. So we ignored it. So it's still in the watch list. So anyways, guys, those were the plays today. Decent, big plays on Google, SPY, QQQ, AMD, Square, PayPal. So definitely one of those days, one of the best days of the week. And let's look at the market. All right. So guys, as I said a few days back, one day is does not make a trend. And more than that, yeah. First of all, if you want to join and come trade with us in the community, my guidance, you can use the discount code I have up there. So you can come and join and give us a try. Don't come for alerts. It's a community of serious people, trading, discussions, ideas, trade together, make money together, lose together, So that's what it's about. But anyways, so SPX, as you see, is still very heavy. I don't think it's really time, unless it gets back over 4,200. I don't think it's time for us to just start buying. It can be ugly. It can still be ugly. This if you turn it upside down, it's kind of a breakout setup. So it's like kind of giving you that breakdown setup, so that we can most likely see. Oh, even on the weekly, it's pretty bearish. So we'll see what happens, right? So technicals are fully bearish, guys. It does not give me any confidence. And if you look at NASDAQ, I mean, NASDAQ is even bearish. There's so much. If you see the the setup, that is kind of showing me it's not really head and shoulders, but it's clearly something that we can call out equivalently short, right? but the point is, what's happening here is we are in a bearish mode. So tomorrow we watch these levels, the 14. So level to watch is 14,247 on NASDAQ. That's a support there if it can bounce from there, but definitely resistance up top, 14,586. So more pain if it pulls down there, and similarly more pain in SPX as well, or ES futures. They're same thing, whatever you want to trade, you can see they are same. So do not just rush to take any long swing investment trade. Be patient. Look, everything is bearish. The trend is not just one day bounce. When trend comes, you will have enough time. Keep eyes on VIX tomorrow. If VIX gets over 22, more pain in the market. US dollar 107. Set your alerts. And then what is it? The yields over 5. Just keep an eye on that. All right guys, good luck. See you tomorrow. Bye.